Welcome to tonight's top news stories from around the world. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Noreen. Let's get started with the headlines making waves right now. Biden's NATO press conference poses major test for his campaign as calls mount to step down. Keir Starmer says Joe Biden was on good form in first bilateral meeting. Senate committee to probe Supreme Court's Trump immunity ruling. US-Canada reach agreement on modernizing 60-year-old pact on Columbia River. Arkansas election official rejects proposed abortion ballot measure. Heat-related deaths continue to rise as record-breaking hot weather persists. Ukraine seizes cargo ship carrying looted grain for Russia. Canada unveils for first-time target date for NATO defense spending goal. China is outraged after NATO accuses it of involvement in Russia's war in Ukraine for the first time. Smuggler is caught with 104 snakes in his pants at the Chinese border. Colombia into final as Uruguay players confront fans. And Rodriguez breaks Messi's Copa record. You are listening to Headlines Now News in detail. Joe Biden faced one of the most critical press conferences of his career on Thursday in Washington, amid growing calls from Democratic members for him to step down. All eyes were on his performance. The event marked the end of NATO's 75th anniversary summit and was scheduled for 5:30 p.m. Earlier, senators prepared to meet Biden's staff at the White House, expressing concerns about his electability after his poor debate performance against Donald Trump last month. Reporters were set to scrutinize his every word for signs of verbal slip-ups or mental lapses. Biden's team had been accused of shielding him from unscripted events, and a repeat of his debate issues could increase calls for him to step aside. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, typically a staunch Biden supporter, was reported to be open to replacing him. Senator Peter Wilk of Vermont publicly urged Biden to reconsider his candidacy, while 9 House members had already done so. Despite this, Biden retained support from Democratic governors, key senators, the Black Congressional Caucus, and progressive House members like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Keir Starmer praised Joe Biden's performance during their first bilateral talks at the White House, dismissing claims that the US president might be senile. After nearly an hour of private discussions and a dinner with NATO leaders, Starmer said Biden was mentally agile and on good form. In interviews, Starmer said criticisms of Biden were misguided. "We discussed Ukraine and many other issues at a fast pace," he noted. Starmer did not bring up Biden's health despite media speculation about dementia symptoms. "We covered a huge number of issues and he was in really good form," Starmer said. Their meeting was significant but carefully planned given the scrutiny over Biden's age and health, with the US election just 4 months away. Starmer stated Biden was well informed on topics like Ukraine, Gaza, European relations, and NATO defense issues. Starmer did not commit to a date for raising defense spending to 2.5%, emphasizing a strategic approach instead of setting an arbitrary date. Defense Secretary John Healey highlighted the UK's focus on countering Russian aggression and supporting Ukraine while ruling out joining a European army. The Senate Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing in September to discuss possible legislation limiting the impact of a recent Supreme Court ruling. The ruling stated that former President Donald Trump had some immunity for his actions in trying to overturn the 2020 election. Senator Dick Durbin, chair of the committee, announced that the hearing will examine the legal and policy effects of the decision. The exact date is yet to be determined. We will look at the scope of misconduct that might be protected from prosecution, the unprecedented nature of this immunity, and legislative solutions, Durbin said. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is also considering a legislative response to the ruling. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that former presidents have some criminal immunity for actions taken while in office. The ruling stated that core presidential duties are fully protected, while other official acts are generally presumed to have immunity. Only unofficial acts are not protected by any immunity. The United States and Canada have agreed to update a 60-year-old treaty on Columbia River flood control and power generation. Draft amendments will be worked on in the coming weeks. President Joe Biden said the treaty, in effect since 1964, needs updating to address climate change and community needs. The amendments aim to increase the involvement of U.S. tribes and Canadian Indigenous nations and improve energy coordination between the countries. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stated the modernized treaty would reduce flood risk, support Indigenous priorities, and promote clean energy. The Columbia River, one of North America's largest rivers, starts in the Canadian Rockies and flows 2,000 kilometers through British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon to the Pacific Ocean. The treaty led to the construction of 4 dams, 3 in British Columbia and 1 in Montana, funded by the U.S. for hydroelectric power. The agreement gives Canada half of the hydroelectric power generated at U.S. plants from the Canadian dams. Canada usually sells this power back to U.S. utilities. Updating the treaty reflects the changing climate and needs of communities relying on this crucial waterway. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Arkansas' top election official rejected petitions for an abortion rights measure for November's ballot, saying organizers missed required paperwork, a claim they disputed. Republican Secretary of State John Thurston said the group didn't include statements listing paid canvassers and confirming they knew the signature gathering rules. Concerns for limited government behind the measure called Thurston's claim absurd and incorrect, stating they submitted the correct documents. The group turned in over 101,000 signatures, more than the 90,704 needed. However, Thurston's office found 14,143 signatures were collected by paid canvassers, leaving the total by unpaid volunteers short. We will fight this disqualification with everything we have, the group said. Advocates aim to put abortion rights measures before voters in nearly a dozen states in 2024. Since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, voters in 7 states, including conservative ones like Kentucky and Ohio, have supported expanding or protecting reproductive rights. Arkansas bans abortion in nearly all cases under a Republican-backed law. The proposed measure would allow abortion up to 20 weeks of pregnancy, with exceptions for rape, incest, the woman's health or life, or if the fetus won't survive. Arkansans for Limited Government said they worked closely with Thurston's staff to ensure compliance. As extreme heat blankets parts of the U.S., tragedies have unfolded, underscoring the dangers. In Sacramento, California, Kevin Gerhardt died from heat stroke in his trailer home amid scorching temperatures. His mother, Marilyn Sellers, urged people to heed heat warnings seriously. Across the country, more than 53 million people faced extreme heat alerts, with fatalities reported in multiple states. The death toll includes Benji Gregory, 46 years old, known for his role in Elf, and Edgar Ordonez, a probationary officer in New York City. In Fort Myers, Florida, Nathaniel Wilcox died from heat exhaustion during fire service training. Even a 4-month-old infant succumbed to heat exposure in Arizona. Temperatures soared above 110 degrees in some areas, with records expected to break. Palm Springs could hit 121 degrees, while Las Vegas saw consecutive days at 117 degrees. The National Weather Service warned of prolonged heat risks across California, Nevada, Arizona, and the Rockies, emphasizing the critical need for cooling and hydration to prevent heat-related illnesses. Authorities urge everyone to take precautions as the blistering heat wave persists. Now it's time for global updates. Ukraine's security service has seized a freighter in the Black Sea near Odessa, accusing it of smuggling stolen Ukrainian grain from Russian-occupied Crimea. The vessel, named Usko Milfo and flying the flag of Cameroon, allegedly working under Russian orders to transport grain to the Middle East, making frequent stops at Crimea's Sevastopol port since last year. The SBU stated the grain was illegally obtained. To evade detection, the SBU said the ship regularly turned off its GPS and provided false travel information. The captain, an Azerbaijani national, faces potential imprisonment for violating Ukraine's travel restrictions regarding Russian-occupied territories, with penalties up to 5 years. Authorities are investigating the incident, including the involvement of 12 other foreign crew members aboard the vessel at the time of seizure. The SBU emphasized ongoing efforts to uncover all details surrounding the crime and identify any additional individuals implicated in the illegal activity. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. Canada will increase its defense spending to meet NATO's target of 2% of gross domestic product by 2032, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Thursday. This commitment, the first with a set timeline, comes amid mounting pressure from the United States. Currently spending about 1.4% of GDP on defense, Canada plans to raise military expenditure to 1.76% by 2030, according to an April defense policy update. The move follows persistent calls from U.S. lawmakers for Canada to boost its defense budget. Trudeau, speaking at a NATO summit in Washington, emphasized Canada's contributions to NATO initiatives despite criticisms. He argued against mere numerical targets, focusing instead on efficient resource utilization for enhanced security. The announcement drew swift criticism at home, with the opposition Conservative Party questioning the sincerity of Trudeau's plan, noting it wasn't reflected in previous defense policy updates. Trudeau's commitment signals a significant step in aligning Canada's defense spending with NATO's expectations amid evolving global security challenges. China responded sharply to NATO's accusation of aiding Russia's war in Ukraine, calling it a smear campaign. In a communique during its 75th anniversary summit in Washington, NATO accused China of being a decisive enabler of Russia's actions, urging Beijing to halt all support to Russia's defense efforts, including dual-use materials. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg described this as the alliance's strongest message yet on China's role in the conflict. In response, China's mission to the EU criticized NATO's statement as Cold War rhetoric filled with lies and provocations. Beijing firmly rejected the accusations and accused NATO of malicious intent. The US has long accused China of providing dual-use materials to Russia, a claim now echoed by NATO, aligning with Washington's stance despite hesitation from some European allies more economically tied to Beijing. Stoltenberg underscored that authoritarian regimes like Iran, North Korea, and China support Russia's actions, aiming to undermine NATO and influence global security dynamics. The tense exchange reflects heightened geopolitical tensions amid ongoing conflicts and strategic rivalries. In China, a man attempted to smuggle 104 live snakes, including milk snakes and Texas rat snakes, into the country through Futian port. Customs officials intercepted him at the Hong Kong-Shenzhen border crossing, finding the snakes hidden in 6 canvas bags tucked inside his pants pockets. China's customs authority, in a statement on vaccine, detailed the discovery, noting that bringing live animals into the country is illegal. The incident underscored China's ongoing battle against wildlife trafficking, a significant issue due to demand for exotic pets and traditional medicines like shark fins. Despite crackdowns, snakes are still consumed as food in China, often used in dishes and drinks. Last year, Pizza Hut in Hong Kong even introduced shredded snake meat as a topping, drawing from southern Chinese culinary traditions. The smuggling attempt has sparked interest among snake enthusiasts in China, with comments on social media discussing their behavior and appeal. Authorities have not disclosed the punishment for the smuggler, but such violations can lead to severe legal consequences in China's efforts to combat illegal wildlife trade. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 18,379.74. The NYSE Composite is increased by 164.56 points or 0.90%. Tokyo stock close price is 42,224.02. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 392.03 points or 0.94%. Shanghai stock close price is 2,970.39. The Shanghai index is increased by 31.02 points or 1.06%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,832.33. The Hang Seng index is increased by 360.66 points or 2.06%. Bombay stock close price is 79,897.34. The Sensex index is decreased by 27.43 points or 0.03%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Colombia secured a place in the Copa America final by defeating Uruguay 1-0 despite playing with 10 men for much of the match. Jefferson Lerma's header from James Rodriguez's corner in the 39th minute proved decisive. Uruguay's Darwin Núñez missed several chances early on. Colombia's Daniel Munoz was sent off just before halftime for elbowing an opponent. In the second half, Uruguay, led by substitute Luis Suarez, pushed hard but couldn't find an equalizer, hitting the post late in the game. Colombia's victory sets up a final clash with Argentina. Colombia's coach Nestor Lorenzo praised his team's resilience in overcoming challenges. Uruguay, meanwhile, will face Canada in the third-place playoff. After the match, there were troubling scenes as Uruguayan players, including Núñez, confronted fans in the stands amidst a brawl. Defender Jose Maria Jimenez expressed concern over threats made to players' families by fans. The incident marred what was otherwise a fiercely contested semi-final, highlighting tensions and emotions running high in the tournament. In Colombia's Copa America 2024 semi-final match against Uruguay, James Rodriguez made history by notching his sixth assist of the tournament, breaking Lionel Messi's previous record of 5 assists in a single campaign. Rodriguez's assist came in a crucial moment when his corner found Jefferson Lerma, who scored the decisive goal with a powerful header against Uruguay's defense led by Jose Maria Jimenez. This victory propelled Colombia into the Copa America final for the first time in 23 years, marking a significant achievement for Rodriguez and his team. The midfielder has been in stellar form throughout the tournament, starting with 2 assists against Paraguay and continuing to contribute with assists in subsequent matches against Costa Rica, Panama and now Uruguay. Rodriguez, a key player for Colombia with 4 Copa America appearances under his belt, will aim to cap off his impressive tournament with the title when they face defending champions Argentina in the final at the Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday. His performance highlights a career peak, showcasing his pivotal role in Colombia's journey to the brink of continental glory. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Biden's NATO press conference poses major test for his campaign as calls mount to step down. Keir Starmer says Joe Biden was on good form in first bilateral meeting. Senate committee to probe Supreme Court's Trump immunity ruling. US-Canada reach agreement on modernizing 60-year-old pact on Columbia River. Arkansas election official rejects proposed abortion ballot measure. Heat-related deaths continue to rise as record-breaking hot weather persists. Ukraine seizes cargo ship carrying looted grain for Russia. Canada unveils for first time target date for NATO defense spending goal. China is outraged after NATO accuses it of involvement in Russia's war in Ukraine for the first time. Smuggler is caught with 104 snakes in his pants at the Chinese border. Colombia into final as Uruguay players confront fans. And Rodriguez breaks Messi's Copa record. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.